We're back here on CBS Sports HQ, where we are one day away until the NFL trade deadline. Who will be buyers and who will be sellers, and what are the trades that should happen tomorrow? Let's go ahead and tell you as we welcome you inside our CBS Sports HQ studios. I'm Jordan Giorgio alongside our own Rand Carthon. It's great to see you, Rand. Let's go ahead and start with the 7-2 Patriots here. What makes sense?
For me, it just makes sense for them to go get another vertical threat. Right now, they've been doing a really good job in their passing game. Obviously, Drake May is in the conversation for being an MVP candidate and been completing passes at a really high clip. And Kayshon Boutte is averaging over 18 yards a catch for them as a vertical threat. But I think they need to add more speed. And in order to do so, I think they should call the the Saints and have a conversation about Rashid Shaheed. You could look and say Chris Olave there, but I think Chris Olave being one of their first-round draft picks, who's still under contract for next year, and Rashid Shaheed is on an expiring contract, I think would make sense for the Patriots to call there and add another outside weapon for young Drake May.
Yeah, that would really make Drake May happy, adding another threat with some speed as you take a look at who's there right now. Let's go ahead and look elsewhere. Next up, you actually have the Steelers picking up Raiders' Jakobi Meyers. How well do you think he could complement DK Metcalf?
I think he'll be a really good complement because his game is running routes short to intermediate. We know DK can do it all, and he's a big guy that can run vertical. But I think it'll give Aaron Rodgers a reliable asset underneath that I think is will be a clear upgrade to Roman Wilson. And oftentimes when I speak of Jakobi Meyers and his situation with the Raiders and him being outspoken in terms of just wanting a new deal and wanting to get out of Vegas, I always quote Mike Tomlin saying, "We want volunteers and not hostages." And I would think that Jakobi Meyers going to the Steelers, he would be a welcoming volunteer to be there.
All right, moving on to the Texans here. You have them actually getting a young running back, Jets' Breece Hall. What's the actual likelihood that this happens, and do you actually think that the Jets will shop him?
I don't think that they will shop him. Now, I don't think they will turn down a really strong offer as well, but I've always struggled with the Jets and Breece Hall here, just simply put, because if you value him so much, why haven't you extended him to this point? And especially with the way their offense is looking, he's been the one consistent guy there that has provided plays for you. But I think his fit with this Texans offense will really open up and unlock what they're able to do, because we still haven't seen Joe Mixon yet. And they've been hush and quiet about his injury, and we still don't know what this mysterious injury is and why he hasn't been around. And they've gotten solid production out of the rookie Woody Marks. But we're talking about consistency. We're talking about playmaking and a guy that can add that explosive component and make them a viable play-action passing team. I think Breece Hall would be a home run hit for the Houston Texans.
Okay, would be key phrase there, right? If this actually happens, but if it does, right now the Texans outside of the playoffs, kind of looking in, would this move, if it happens, kind of put them in that conversation? I
think it would, because if you look at the Houston Texans defense, they have a top 5, potentially top 3 defense in the whole entire league, and their offense has lacked consistency to the point, and a lot of that I think is because they don't have a run game, and I think adding him would really unlock that offense. And so much of this offense, in terms of being able to pass the ball downfield, you see them running a lot more concepts from underneath center, and a lot of that is because they want to be able to use that play-action pass or the threat of the play-action pass, and why not add a guy in Breece Hall that could be a threat as a runner?
All right, let's keep it rolling here, because this next one is pretty juicy. Right now, the Minnesota Vikings sitting at 4-4. You actually have them making some moves, getting some much-needed depth right now at quarterback, adding some veteran presence behind J.J. McCarthy. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I like Russ here. We've heard potentially Kirk Cousins. I don't see that happening because I don't see the Vikings giving up a high pick and having the Falcons pay down that contract, and I just don't see the Vikings taking on that number. But adding a guy like Russell Wilson, if you think about Russell Wilson when he was at his best, is he had a strong defense and he had weapons all around him. And I think going to a team like Minnesota, not as the starter, but being a quality backup for them, they're sitting at 4-4 right now. So they're not out of it, not out of it in the division, and they're not out of it in the wild card. And so I think if something were to happen with J.J. McCarthy, because he hadn't been able to stay healthy, that if you had a veteran like Russell Wilson there, he could right the ship and keep you in contention of being in the tournament come January.
You think he wants to be in Minnesota, though?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
To have the ability to throw to Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hockenson and be able to play with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, those are all guys that are playing, really good football at this point, and that would give him much better weapons than I'll say than what the Giants currently have.
Lastly here, defensively, you actually have the Colts picking up a familiar face for their defensive coordinator, and that's linebacker Logan Wilson.
Yeah, Logan Wilson was potential all-pro player in Lou Anarumo's defense in Cincinnati, and I think he wants out at this point because he's been replaced by Barrett Carter. He had been benched. He's missed, I think, last week due to an injury. But reuniting him with Lou Anarumo, we've already seen Lou Anarumo bring over Jermaine Pratt, who was his starting linebacker in Cincinnati last year, who's now the starting wheelbacker for the Indianapolis Colts. And I don't think that is a good marriage with Jermaine Pratt and Zaire Franklin playing next to each other because they're both really Mike backers. I think adding a guy like Logan Wilson would make that linebacker core more athletic, be a great pair for Zaire Franklin because Logan Wilson can cover. He'll be able to cover these tight ends and these running backs. And in his career, he has 11 career interceptions. And I think getting him with Lou will give them a really good player in the second level of that defense and kind of really bring home where this defense is playing right now.
You make some good points there. Selling that move for sure. The Colts sitting at 7-2 right now, top of the AFC. Is where they're at right now sustainable in your opinion?
I think so. And, we saw where Buffalo played yesterday. And again, Buffalo beats Kansas City in the regular season. That's just what happens. It's when the playoffs count that matter. And I think yesterday, the Colts got away from their identity. I think they thought coming into the game, a struggling Pittsburgh secondary, they thought they could throw the ball around early. When in actuality, this offense lives and dies on the production of Jonathan Taylor, and they weren't able to get him going because they didn't attempt to get him going like they have in previous games. And I think this is a situation where you're going to see the Colts brass address the team today and say, hey, that one was on us, but moving forward, we're going to ride this horse in our backfield, which is Jonathan Taylor, and they're going to get back to who they are.
All right, well, they'll get a chance this upcoming weekend on the 9th. They're back home hosting the Atlanta Falcons. We'll leave it there. Rand Carthon, always great to see you, my friend. You could get more from Rand, though, on Game Day Recap every Sunday evening, 8:20 Eastern Time, right here on CBS Sports HQ.